Okay, one of the popular modifications to the emissions system on a Aprilia Tuono is to take out the charcoal canister, the evap canister. Um, it's just a kind of a little cylindrical tube here that sits in the back of the seat, under the passenger seat, and you can take it out without affecting the engine or the performance at all. It's all done for emissions, so it's everything after fuel's already been burnt. But anyways, this is, you can take this out. There's a little, I've already done this, but I wanted to mention something that I did wrong the first time. There is a little bracket that goes on top of this and it screws down into this hole. So you take that bracket off, and I believe on this side, I'm trying to remember, I think on this side there's two connections, and on the other side there's one. So basically what you're going to do, there will be a hose, I think it's coming from this side, up into the engine, and you'll know if you can trace it all the way through underneath here next to the battery and under the frame here, and then it'll come back and be it's this one right here, which you can see I've already capped off. So it comes back into here, into the engine. So and I don't remember if I cut this right here or if there was a valve. I think there might have been a small check valve or something when I took that out, and that's where I plugged this. I put a screw in it with some RTV silicone, and then just put a hose clamp on it. And nicely enough, there's a little clamp right there. You can kind of see it. If I can get out of the light. Nice little clamp right there that this hose can kind of just set into. I twisted it down. So anyways, I've had that capped off, and that part's fine. You can cap that hose off. However, off of the tank are two breather hoses, and I've disconnected this one. There are two breather hoses that are basically just vent lines, and I don't think both of them come to here. I think one of them comes from this side, so it'll come around this side of the tank, and this one comes from the other side. Well, doesn't matter. You can pull all the hoses from this back completely off. That's what this hose is. You can pull it completely off. And the one thing I did wrong is I left this check valve in place, and you actually need to take it out. These two lines should vent straight to ground with no valves in between them. So this short, 8 or 10 inch piece of hose coming to this side of the valve, I'm going to take off, and I'm going to hook this one directly to that vent nipple right there. So that's pretty much what you do. You undo the lines on this one, pull this whole canister completely out, make some nice storage area in there, by the way. Pull the hoses all the way back. The one going to the engine, you're going to cap. Plug it with something, you're going to cap it. The other two hoses, vent straight to ground, no check valves in between. Straight hose all the way down. If you can route it with all the other ones if it even reaches. One of these, this one here, this fatter one, is one of the hoses that would come back up here. It's one of these. I think it's the second one. So that's one of your drain line, your vent lines right there. So if you can, you could even you trace this one up to make sure you're on the right one. But take your check valve out of that, and that's your vent line. So that's it. That's how to take out the charcoal canister. It's really easy. It's a lot people try and make it more complicated than it is. Yeah, it's pretty easy and saves you some space in the tail, and a pound or two of stuff that you don't need. So thanks for watching. Okay, I thought of one last thing that I needed to point out, which is good because I forgot to even mention why I do this mod in the first place. Apart from just saving the space, when you do this mod, you don't want to have those check the check valves in there. Because you can improperly pressurize or cause a vacuum in your tank. If people have done this before, left those check valves in, a lot of times when they go riding, when they go to open their tank, it would just splash fuel all over the place because it was pressurized. So that's the other reason to take this out. I did notice that this piece that I removed, the hose coming from the tank, is smaller in diameter than the hose after this check valve. I'm not too worried about it because I put a clamp on here, one of those twist clamps. So you can see this, I mean, this goes on pretty easy. It doesn't, it's a little too big. But again, it's just a vent line, so I'm just going to put this on there and clamp it real tight. It's going to be fine. So reuse the same hose. I don't think it's an issue. I don't have that long of hose. You may have that long of hose come out of one of these. I've got this piece here. I actually cut some of mine and reused it for the side pieces that were coming off, the little foam pieces. But so just use a little clamp, a little circular clamp there, and it'll work just fine. So again, take all the hoses and the canister from here back, yank them all the way out, all the way to here. You're going to want to check out any check valves and have those hoses run straight down to drain at the bottom of the bike, and that's it. And then cap this one on the engine. Okay, thanks.